This is Overtime with Chris Dewar, only on KHQA.
Well, this is Saturday, March the 3rd.
This is Overtime with Chris Dewar, only on KHQA.
Well, this is Saturday, March the 3rd, and you have entered Overtime. Local sports coverage got swole, as the gym rats like to say, in that crowd, thanks to the muscle being provided by the fine folks at Con Communications. Now, I've got no words to mince tonight. The 2011-2012 basketball season is on life support, and we're looking for survivors, or more accurately, for saviors tonight. The Q&D Lady Raiders did their part, raised our banners yet again. The Marion County Lady Mustangs and Clopton Lady Hawks are safely through the playoff meat grinders' first cut and threatening, like they seemingly do every year during the calendar turning to March. And the Cinderella is alive and kicking thanks to our friends, the boys, in Philadelphia, Missouri as well. Question is, who else is coming along with us? Clark County or Ellsbury? We will start there tonight. District 7 in Class 3, upstarts versus favorites. Clark County, Kyle Kovar and company with a tall order taking on these fellas. The Ellsbury Indians, 25-2 coming in, and that is the All-State candidate, Matt Losing, all 6'9" of him with a great take there. Then it's Scott Kreger hooking up right here on the beautiful quick pass inside to Jordan Powell, who had a monster night on the boards. More on him in a second. Great start in this one as Brendan Hurley says cheese from the outside, knocks down the triple at that point. Ellsbury building a big lead in the early going in this one. More to come from the outside right here as it's Scott Kreger with 3 of his 17 points on the night. A 12-1 run to start this ball game. Finally, Clark County wakes up, plays very well, though, in the latter half of the first quarter and the second quarter. It starts with Javen Ray with a big 3, and then look at Kyle Kovar imposing his will with a big block. More to come from Kovar right here. Up against the tall timber, somehow knocks down the jump shot for the Indians right there. Back the other way, though. Kenny Leslie comes off the bench, knocks down a jumper to silence a run, as Clark County on this Javen Ray right here take would get his team back to within 1 at that point. However, here comes Clark County again. No! Kenny Leslie with a big block there, and then Kenny Leslie going to send a message. This game was close early, blown apart in the second half as Ellsbury does what Ellsbury does. They played incredibly well in winning another district title. Remember, this team went to the Final Four last year. The Indians all over Clark County by the final count, this one of 58-29. Up next for the Ellsbury Indians, a showdown in Moberly on Wednesday with Christian, who was a 61-59 winner over Winfield. Meanwhile, let us take you back to the girls' side of things. Bobby Spoonster's Bowling Green Bobcats taking on Palmyra. You saw Q&D's Matt McPherson joining the Palmyra fan club. His girlfriend played for Palmyra early on. Kylie Conroe with a great take there for Bowling Green. Palmyra, though, would answer and take an 8-6 lead at the end of the first, thanks to Katie Serban hitting the offensive glass and hitting it in triplicate right there. Kelsey Scherter trying to answer back. She had a big night before fouling out. 13 points for her. More to come. Defense by Bowling Green. Again, it's Kylie Conroe who had herself a monster effort in this game, helping propel her team back to within 1 at that point. Evie Miles, though, answering for Palmyra with the 3 right there. P-Town would lead at the end of the half, 20-18, despite Kelsey Scherter's 13 points. Meanwhile, second half, Brian Wassman's team trying to keep that lead. They would answer right here with Palmyra, courtesy of Katie Hinkle from the outside, knocking down the wide open jumper in this one. Emily Bross then cleaning up the offensive glass, taking another bucket up. Palmyra leading by as many as 5 at this point. You know what? Bowling Green would just not go away. Cadillac Skills, Cadillac Grills. It's Courtney Cadillac getting the finish at the other end. Call it Cadillac Ranch if you wanted to. Great take right there. At the other end, though, Allie Dietrich doing work for Palmyra. We go down to the bottom at the end of this game. Bowling Green up 3. The steal, appropriately enough, by Kylie Conroe, who proves to be the finisher. Coffee is for closers as Bowling Green gets the win. 40-35 is your final. Bobby Spoonster gets hugs and kisses. That's a big reward. So too is this district championship trophy for the Bowling Green Lady Bobcats, who are moving on. They will be taking on Hallsville, who was a winner over Centralia, 38-33. That game again Wednesday at Moberly Area Community College. Well, this has been a really star-crossed season for the Canton Tigers, who seem poised early to emerge as the breakout team in Northeast Missouri this winter. Unfortunately, 5 games into the season, Nick Janney dislocated one kneecap, missed a considerable stretch of time, then returned in time to injure his other knee. Robbing the Tigers of one of the region's most dynamic catalysts, and yet still, Andy Anderson's crew has continued to find ways to overcome, including Janney himself, who is back playing again tonight. We take you to the highlights of this one. Stellar matchup, big task for Garrett Serban as he would take on Cairo super sophomore Brad Roberts, who had a 43-point, 27-rebound game earlier this season. That kid's is doing work. Took 2 minutes for Cairo to take their first shot. Took 2 nanoseconds for Canton to answer right there, courtesy of David McReynolds with the finish. I mentioned Brad Roberts got off to the great start, 18 points in the first half, 38 overall in this game. Still, Canton would match him, at least at every turn in this one. Garrett Serban to Gabe McKenzie for the pretty finish and the three-point play. I mentioned the big fella. I mentioned Roberts. I didn't mention this guy yet. Aaron Barat had a big night as well, as he had 23 points. Big night for him as well. 61 points between Barat and Roberts in this game. Still, Canton kept on coming in this one right there. It's Brandon Bearhorse with a nice take right there. Then from the top of the key, I mentioned Nick Janney. Playing at about 60% with that knee, still knocking down jumpers, making things happen, hitting the 3 right there. Then it's Austin Hoeing knocking down a wide open 3. At the other end, just before the end of the first quarter, it's going to be Mr. Roberts with a big take, kissing one off the glass. But you know what? Instantly Canton would answer. And this is Bearhorse again from just inside half court. Oh my goodness! And that, my friends, closes Canton back to within 1, down by 1 at the end of 1. And then it would be a 10-0 run from Canton to take the lead by 5. It starts with Tyler Neiman, who was just luminous in this game. Great take for him. More Nick Janney. This time gets away from a defender despite the bad knee. Knocks down the three-pointer there. Janney doing work at that point. Then Gabe McKenzie going to make his presence felt as well in this one. In the second half, Canton down 1 at that point. Here comes the youngster, the outstanding sophomore, Gabe McKenzie with the take right there and the get. More to come right here. Bearhorse kissing one off the glass as well. Canton fighting, but seemingly Cairo would answer at every turn, maintaining a lead of 1 to 3 points throughout the second half in this one. Austin Hoeing trying to get that back, closes the game to tie. That would be as close as it would get in the second half. Tyler Neiman, his team down 5 at one point, gets the nice finish, gets them back to within 3. Couple of different points. Canton was down 3 with a chance to perhaps tie this game or send it to overtime. Unfortunately for the Canton Tigers, too much of Brad Roberts, who is just an absolute stud. He throws down there. That one didn't count. But it gives you an idea of what Cairo is capable of as Cairo finishes and ends Canton's season. Final count in this one was 64-57. Up next for Cairo would be the winner of Louisiana and Community R6. Bob Curtis's team trailing at the half in Van Far. Derek Branster's team, they're trying to make some things happen. Trojans get a good third quarter effort right here from Sean Wilson, who would score off his own miss. That's resourceful. Then it's Austin Lehman spinning in nicely as well for Community R6 with the take right there. And the rowdy crowd from Ladonia, they love it at that point. But the Bulldogs would step up big with the defense. How about Dylan Smith coming up here with the larceny and the layup at the other end. Then it's Brendan Ross doing what he does. And that, my friends, is project power from the perimeter. He's going to knock down a triple right here, helping Louisiana stretch its lead. Cameron Foreman going to take one in coming up right here. Going the other way, trying to get his team desperately back into this one. Community R6, though, overmatched at every turn in this one, as Mr. Ross is going to answer and provide the punctuation for our highlights and for the Louisiana win. The Bulldogs are your district champs. They will take on Cairo in what should be a dandy matchup. That comes up on Wednesday at Hannibal, and we can't wait to see that one coming up later this week. More scores for you to pass along of interest locally. Let's give you those. Milan tonight is a winner over Putnam County, 50-29 on the girls' side, which means Milan will be joining Louisiana and Cairo in Hannibal coming up on Wednesday night. Milan's opponent will be the Clopton Lady Hawks. State-ranked Clopton will be a heavy favorite in that game. Also, Class 1 action of interest to our friends in Marion County. The Marion County girls will be taking on Meadville, who eked out a 34-30 win over Macon County on the girls' side. Meadville on the boys' side, the #1 ranked team in the state, and they are very good. They beat Novinger tonight 49-41, so that is the next task ahead for Ryan Wood and company. Let's do some cleanup work from last night. Quincy High School, Edwardsville. The Blue Devils taking on state-ranked Edwardsville on its home court. That is a tall order this early in the playoffs, a regional final, mind you. Huge Tigers start right here in this one as they get out to the early lead. D'Angelo Dean, though, trying to answer. Field goals, though, hard to come by in the first half as the Blue Devils would have only 4 of them. Edwardsville would keep the pressure on in this game with the post scoring, attacking the Blue Devils seemingly at a place of weakness at that point. Sean Taylor tried to urge his defense to do some things. As I mentioned, just 4 field goals in the first half. Here's Mason Fairley with one of them. The last Edwardsville possession of the first half, Mr. Dean going to try and keep this thing close. His team was only down 4 points at this point thanks to the big block. And as I mentioned, they only had 4 field goals. It's 17-13 Ellsbury at the half. The Devils in the second half trying to make some things happen, trying to go on a run in this one, and they would do that at least temporarily. Mason Fairley hooking up right here with a 3. The Devils within 5 points for much of the third quarter. Then it's D'Angelo Dean working inside for the and 1. Then Fairley again trying to do some things. Again, the Blue Devils attacking at various points, but a run where Edwardsville had a couple of back-to-back three-pointers and a couple of back-to-back traditional three-point plays would stymie the momentum that Mike Davis and company tried to fashion. In the end, it turns out to be an ugly, ugly score, but not indicative of the season the Blue Devils had. They lose 59-43, but a great run for Sean Taylor's team, which looked dead over the holidays. Great run for them. A couple of other scores to pass along to you here on Overtime. Congratulations to Keokuk native Mackenzie Piper, who is headed to the University of Illinois next year. She's now playing at Iowa City West, and for the second time in her career, she is a state champion tonight after leading her team to victory 61-56. Also, congratulations to the Quincy High Rifle team. The #1 team for the Quincy High Rifle team went and won a state championship today. This is how good the Blue Devils are at rifle shooting. They also took 3rd place with their B team, if you will, and that's pretty impressive. So congratulations to the Blue Devils for their fine efforts in Elgin today. And when we come back, we update the fortunes of Quincy University women's basketball as it chases a GLVC tournament title in spring.
This is Overtime with Chris Dewar, only on KHQA.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. 4 teams entered the day left alive in the hunt for the GLVC Women's Tournament title, but they're not the 4 teams anyone had projected coming into this dance. Thanks to a quarterfinal bloodbath, the top-seeded Quincy University Lady Hawks found themselves contending with 5, 6, and 7 seeds the rest of the way, which begs the question, does that make the opposition more dangerous or less dangerous? We leave that to Jenny Garber's team to decide today. They were in a dogfight with Maryville from start to finish in this one. Second half, Allie Schwagmeyer pulls up and knocks one off the glass right here. Then it's Lindsay Hankey making her presence felt, using that 6'5" frame to fade away and knock down the dream shaker with the old Hakeem Olajuwon type shot right there. Maryville, though, as I mentioned in this ball game, fighting back from a deficit at this point. Great bank shot in right there, Lindsay Hankey's face. Garber's team down 8 points at one point in this half. Then the comeback begins. It's Cassidy Schumann from the outside for the longish 2. Later, Lucy Cramsey, who's coming off a career-best 25 points and 7 three-pointers the other night. Well, that's another three-pointer for her. We'll ring that up. Then it's the three-point specialist, Darla Gatchenberger, wearing the mask but not letting it affect her vision nor her shot. Fires up the QU crowd with a three-pointer there. And then finally, the Hawks would grab the lead after Schwagmeyer hits a 3 right here with 5 minutes left to make it a 55-54 lead at that point. Schwagmeyer then cueing the fast break just a bit later in this one as Quincy University was trying to cement that lead, trying to cement the win, get into Sunday's championship game. As you see Diggity Schwag right there going between the defenders and throwing one quickly off the glass. Justin Brock approves of the move. The key teams would keep trading the lead down the stretch in this game. Here it's Gatchenberger with the and 1 right here as she would eventually score. And actually that's Allie Schwagmeyer with the score right there. Maryville, there's Gatchenberger with a nice take right there, and the and 1 for her as well. QU trailing by 2 with a minute left to play. Carly Gengenbacher would end up hitting a 3 in this game to give her team the lead, but it was not enough. Maryville just no go away in this ball game as Maryville pulls off the upset tonight and ends the Lady Hawks run 70-66. At least they're running this tournament. They should find out tomorrow night where they're going in the regional. They are a shoo-in for a very high seed in the regional, probably the 3 seed despite this loss. Maybe the 4. We'll keep you apprised tomorrow with Ross Green coming up tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Meanwhile, the upsets worked in our favor today as well, and they don't come any bigger than this. Western Illinois Summit League Tournament opener today upsets number 2 seed Oral Roberts. Western Illinois jumped out in this game early, led by as many as 20-some-odd points, and just really never looked back. They let Oral Roberts climb back to within 9 at one point in the second half, but Valencia, Kelly and company advancing on to the semifinals of the Summit League Tournament with a huge win today. They were not the only upset winners with the Leatherneck women. How about the HLG men with their second straight upset? First Harris Stowe, now Missouri Baptist for Jason Durst's team, as HLG HLGU moves on to the championship game to be played Tuesday at Columbia College, the home of Bob Burchard. That's going to be a tall order for the Trojans to win yet again there, but if they do, they are your AMC tournament champs, and that, my friends, would be a remarkable reversal of fortunes for Jason Durst's crew. Other regular season women's and men's basketball action. John Wood women win on the road at Lincoln Land, 66-54. SEC a winner again today, 77-67 is your final there, and the John Wood men take out Lincoln Land 60-51 behind 16 points from Antonio Landers. Now we're unveiling a new feature here on Overtime for you this week and giving our faithful viewers a chance to win a prize package simply by making your own opinions known. Every week in this spot we will salute an outstanding play as your Con Communications Connection nominee. And at the end of the month you simply need to go to connecttristates.com and vote for your favorite of the bunch. And by voting you become eligible to win. How's that for easy? Here is this week's delivery. We take you back to Schuyler County much earlier in the week, and it is the center, Garrett Serbin, playing, oh, look at him playing point center, if you will, at that point. Magnificent double spinorama, if you will, into a beautiful pass to feed Tyler Neiman for the easy bucket. That is your Con Communication Connection of the Week. Again, at the end of the month, your chance to vote. If you are a Garrett Serbin fan, vote for him early and often on our website at the end of March. Other scores to pass along of a baseball diamond type nature. St. Ambrose, a winner today in baseball over Culver Stockton in the first game of a doubleheader played at Lentz Field in Jacksonville. The second one went to the Wildcats as they win 8-7. Jason Schwartz with a big night with 2 home runs in that one. Also on the baseball docket today, Western Illinois felled again by number 8 Georgia, although the Leathernecks have played Georgia very well. The Bulldogs win 3-2 is your final there. Also, we have HLG splitting a pair with Olivet Nazarene, winning the first one 5-4, dropping the second one by a considerable 8-3 margin. I think we have some softball scores for you as well today. Culver Stockton beaten badly by Linwood Belleville, I should say. Easy for me to say. 15-1 and 13-6. It was actually a sweep for Linwood Belleville. Culver Stockton did not win that last game.